Let's dive into one of the all-time great stories about leadership transition, straight from the ancient book of Joshua. I mean, this is the ultimate case study in having to fill impossibly large shoes, right? It's about that moment an apprentice is suddenly thrown into the commander's seat. Let's get into it. Seriously, just imagine that for a second. The shock, the pressure, the weight of everyone's expectations. It's a feeling a lot of us can relate to, maybe at work, on a team, or in this case, leading an entire nation out of the wilderness. This is the exact high-stakes situation we're about to explore. So the scene is set. Moses, the legend who led his people for 40 years, he's gone. The story kicks off right in the shadow of this massive loss, which leaves this enormous leadership vacuum at the very top. And who gets the call to fill that role? Well, it's not some outsider. It's someone who's been right there the whole time, Joshua. And the text makes a point of calling him Moses' assistant. He's literally the ultimate apprentice, and he's just been called up for the top job. Okay, so this gets us to the heart of the handover. The job of the next leader isn't decided by a committee, there's no election, nope. It comes down as a direct, crystal clear commission from the highest authority. I mean, you can't get much clearer than that, right? The message starts with the cold, hard fact: Moses is dead. And then, boom, pivots straight to the command: now get up, go. The pass gets a nod, but the focus is 100% on what has to happen next. And we're not talking about a small mission here. The objective is this huge piece of land, stretching all the way from the southern desert up to the Mediterranean Sea. This isn't just another step in the journey. This is the finish line, the culmination of a promise made generations ago. And here it is, the single most important thing any new leader needs to hear when they're taking over from a legend: a promise of continuity. The source of Moses' success, that divine backing, is explicitly passed on to Joshua. You know, it's the ultimate vote of confidence. So Joshua's got his mission and he's got the promise of support. But he also gets something else, something absolutely crucial: a clear blueprint for how to actually pull it off. This isn't just about what to do, it's a step-by-step guide on how to win. Now, here's a little tip. When a phrase gets repeated in ancient texts like this, it's like a giant flashing neon sign saying, "Pay attention to this." And this phrase, "be strong and of good courage," gets hammered home 3 separate times in just a few lines. This is not a friendly suggestion. It's the fundamental mindset required for the mission. That mindset is really just step 1 in a clear 4-part formula. First, have the courage. Second, stick to the rule book, the law. Third, keep it in your mind day and night. And the outcome isn't a maybe, it's presented as a direct result. You do these things, and then you will have good success. It's cause and effect. And right here is the pivot. The moment of truth. Joshua has received his orders, and now we see him instantly step up, own the role, and start giving his own commands. Joshua doesn't waste a second. His very first order sets a deadline. The mission starts in 3 days. This creates an immediate sense of urgency and just shows you how decisive he is. There's no waffling, no let me think about it. The time for action is right now. And right away, we see what kind of leader he's going to be. He doesn't try to micromanage everything himself. He works through his chain of command, telling his officers to get the people ready. He's taking that grand divine vision and turning it into practical, on-the-ground logistics. But Joshua is more than just a logistics guy. He's a sharp strategist. He immediately goes to the eastern tribes and reminds them of a deal they made with Moses. You have to fight with us first, then you can go back to your own land. It's a brilliant move to make sure the entire nation is unified and moving as one. So now we get to the final piece of the puzzle, and you could argue it's the most critical part of this whole transition. I mean, giving a command is one thing, but getting people to actually follow you, that's everything. So how do they respond? Well, there's your answer. And it's an absolute, no questions asked pledge of loyalty. There are no conditions, no what about this, no negotiations. It's just total acceptance of Joshua's authority. He is their commander now, period. And check out this incredible parallel here. Remember how the divine promise to Joshua linked his authority directly to Moses? Well, now the people's pledge mirrors that exact same language. They're essentially saying, the legitimacy you got from above, we're giving it to you from below, on the very same terms. And just to show you how serious they are, they set the stakes themselves. They're the ones who declare that anyone who rebels against Joshua gets put to death. This isn't just talk. They're creating a binding contract with the highest possible price for breaking it. And then you get this amazing full circle moment. The people speak the exact same words of the divine commission right back to their new leader. It's incredible. They take the command he was given and turn it into a statement of support. They're not just his followers anymore, they're partners, pushing him forward with the very words that first empowered him. So that leaves us with one last thing to chew on. This story lays out a perfect, seamless transition of power. But what was the real foundation of that loyalty? Was it because everyone believed Joshua was handpicked by God? Or was it because he successfully rallied them behind a shared mission, a concrete goal they had all been waiting for? Something to think about.